Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. Does what it says on the sign. What's on your mind today, Dunsy? Guitar lessons. Another guitar lesson today for a cover I did a couple of weeks ago by the band known as the Rods. The Rods from New York City. What a band, the Rods, I love the Rods. So I did a cover of Power Lover, Baby I'm a Power Lover, which was on the first Rods album, which I think was called Rock Hard initially, and it was re-released on Arista Records 1981. This is a promotional copy, not for resale, so I won't be reselling this. Brilliant album. So I love the Rods, like I said, so I have this and I have, I'll just whip these out, the Full Throttle EP, which also has Power Lover on it as well. Power Lover, Nothing Going On in the City, Crank It Up. Oh, that's a great tune. Getting Higher. The Rods on tour with Iron Maiden. They supported Maiden. Supported Maiden back in the day on their UK tour. Brilliant. So yes, that's that one I have. Now, somebody was to say, Dunsy, what's your favourite album by the Rods? I mean, this is probably heresy. I don't think it's the first one, which I love. I love the first album. But I think it would be the second album. Wild Dogs, oh man, this is just so good. I mean, the first album was raw. I mean, I think it was described at the time as like raw Ted Nugent, which it is. It's that real sort of raw rock and roll stuff. But this is a powerful album. I love this album. So that's the Rods, Wild Dogs, and the Too Hot to Stop EP. I'm too hot to stop. Too hot to stop. Too Hot to Stop. Power Lover live. Power Lover's on everything here. Rockin' and Rollin' Again live. Too Hot to Stop live. I think it was recorded at the Marquee. There's a photograph of them at the Marquee, I think. Now, look away now if you're offended by people using hand signs. Oh, Rock Feinstein, what's he like? And then we have, talking about Raw, we have the Rods in the Raw. World Tour Infection 82. It's Spreading. Access Hilarious. This is a great album as well. All these are good. When did this come out? 83 on Shrapnel Records. And then we have the Rods live, which is perhaps, unsurprisingly, a live album. Capturing the Rods alive. Really like Rock Feinstein's guitar playing. I mean, he's rocking. He's a melody maker as well. He's an old melody maker, which he's had refinished with sort of flames that you'd see on American cars. But I really love his guitar playing. It's quite. It's very rock and roll. He's definitely sort of a rock and roll guy. Great band. The Rods live. Then we have, again, you know, if you're offended by 80s record covers, look away now. This is called, you ready for this? Let Them Eat Metal. Not going to say much about that. Let Them Eat Metal. Decent album. Not as good as the first ones. Some metal for nations, music for nations, Dunsy, some music for nations. And the last one I have is, they got a new singer, the guy, what's his name, Smulik Avigal, who I think had been in Picture. So he's a singer on this, Heavier Than Thou. Good album as well. What's the big song in this? Born to Rock. That's a great tune. They do a cover of Communication Breakdown. It's always the same, having a nervous breakdown, as they say. So there we go. So today I'm doing a guitar lesson for Power Lover by the Rods. I mean, it's all well and good me just, you know, bashing through cover versions, which I can already play, but it's not really, you know, it's not helping people. So I try and do a lesson on the covers I do. If you're of the same vintage as me, and I know a lot of you are of the same vintage as me, you grew up in the early 80s playing guitar. You know, these are some of the first songs I ever tried to play. And my channel is all about going through these 80s stuff. You know, I'm channeling 80s metal on my channel, as it were. So I try and do guitar lessons as well. If I think something's quite easy to play, I mean, I'm not an expert at guitar player by any means, so I try and stick to the simple stuff and get a lesson out of there. So, you know, you can sit on your couch, sit in your spare music room, maybe open a beer and jam along to some of the Rods or Riot or something like that. So I do hope it's helpful, folks. This is a guitar lesson for Power Lover by the Rods. Cheers for now. So the song's in standard tuning, mostly around an A pedal tone. Now the opening riff goes like this, I'll play it slowly. And again slowly. So that's an A chord, and again you're pedaling on the A string open to the partial C chord on the 5th fret, D and G strings, back to the A, up to this partial D chord, 7th fret of the D and G strings. So far we have. Back to the C. You slide from the C back down to the A, 2nd fret of D and G strings, pull off to the open G, hammer back on to the A. Hammer on again to the 5th fret, D and G, to the 7th fret, D and G. So play that slowly. I'll show you what my picking hand's doing. So you're always going back to the pedal tone on the A string between those chords. Again, they're partial chords just on the D, G strings. Into the verse. So the verse is just those same sort of thing. It's an A pedal tone and partial chords on the D, G strings. It opens like this. So it's open, 5th, 2nd. Then pedal tone on the A. So there's a run up to a D in the middle of the verse. What I'll do is I'll show you my picking hand when I'm playing this. When we get to the D chord, it just plays this. Back to the and the next part is an E, moves over to an E pedal tone and this chord. So that's the 7th fret of the A, 6th fret of the D, 7th fret of the G string with an E pedal tone. And for one beat, it moves up, those 3 notes move up 1 fret, back. Into the chorus. So that run is these power chords: E, D, C, B, A. So I'll play the whole of that break. Into the chorus. Now I'll show you my picking hand. So I'll play the chorus first. It's just an A chord to a D. This time to the D, to a C, to a G, to a D, finish on an E. So that's all the chords in the song. It just goes round that a few times. I did the solo in the cover version, so I will show you what I played. Now, like all my videos, I'm not saying this is how the solo goes, but this is how I played it. So the solo starts with this bend on the 10th fret of top E string to the 10th fret of the B string. The rattle. Then the 7th fret of the G string. So it's 7, bend up. Pull off to 5, back to 7, bend up again. And then you stay on the 7th fret of the G, but you do this. So you're bending it up and then hitting it. Try and zoom in on both hands here. Next bit of the solo is just this one note, but there's a lot of bends on it. It's the A 2nd fret of the G string. I get some pinch harmonics as well. And it moves up to the 10th fret of the B string, double stop bend in the 12th fret of the G, up. And this run. So that's 10 to 13 on the B. Pull back off again to the 12th fret of the G, 9th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, back to the 7, bend up, release back to 5. Then it moves all the way up here to the 17th fret of the B, double stop on the 19th fret of the G, bend up. And then the 20th fret of the B. The solo ends with this run. I mean, it's so fast, I think he's just winging it. It starts on the 12th fret of top E, 15th fret of the top E, and then just goes up. Not any specific fret, he just does it really fast. And at the end of the tune, on the studio version there's a harmony guitar, but I watched some Rod's live footage and this is what Rock plays at the end. So that's 2nd fret of the A string, hammer on to the 3rd fret, over to the D, then the 5th and 7th fret of the D, over to the 4th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret of the G. So far it's. that's the 8th and 10th fret of the B, up to the 13th and 15th fret of the B, finish on the 12, 13, 15 to the top A on the 17th fret of the E string. And solo finishes with this. So that's on the B string. So on the B string here at this point, it's 13 to 12, hammer on from 10 back to 12, hammer on from 8 to 10. To 8, to 6, hammer back onto 8, to 5, and you move over to the 7th fret of the G string, to the 5th fret of the G string, finishes on an A 2nd fret of the G string. So the whole bit goes like this.